So, can you tell me a little bit about what you did for this project?
So essentially, we wanted to figure out what happened to immigrants if they illegally came into the country, and also connecting it to that the immigration detention facilities that they would be put into if they were caught, while the government figured out what they would do to them afterwards. So some of the students that go to our school actually resided there for a few months, and we got a chance to speak to them. They told us how life was there, how the officers treated them, and it kind of just enlightened us on something that many of us may not even know about when it comes to immigrants.
Since 9/11, the revenues have doubled to over $1 billion a year for the country's two largest private prison companies, CCA, or the Corrections Corporation of America, and GEO. The vast majority of people held in federally contracted detention centers are economic migrants from Mexico and Central America.
And we're doing this and claiming somehow it's keeping us safe from foreign terrorism. It makes no sense, but it's making a lot of money for a lot of people.
A way we can see neo-imperialism and this idea of systematic oppression is in the treatment of undocumented immigrants in our justice system today, specifically if we focus on the immigration detention facilities. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is a governmental agency that works as a watchdog for undocumented immigrants. When a person is caught crossing the border or they commit a crime and are discovered to be undocumented, ICE then takes them to these detention facilities, which are basically holding centers ran by private organizations like GEO Group and Corrections Corporation of America. Since they are ran by private companies, their main focus is their profit rather than the well-being of the undocumented immigrants.
En el centro de detención que estuve 15 días. Esos 15 días no, sin bañarme, sin nada, habíamos 159 mujeres y nos daban comida solo 2 tiempos y nos sacaban a comer afuera, pero nos ponían en fila y nos trataban mal para ir a comer afuera.
So I got the first part. The second part, after the line, said I said in fila.
Yeah, like 159 women. They took them outside to eat because there was limited space inside.
Mm-hmm.
And it was overall just like, how do I say it? Well, to put it into perspective, she didn't take a shower for 15 days.
Yeah, I got that part.
Okay.
Nos trataban más mejor y no nos hablaban así mal como animales. No como la primera.
¿Te molestaban mucho?
No, a todas nos regañaban.
What was that last part?
They chastised them.
Okay. ¿Qué hiciste en tu tiempo libre?
No teníamos tiempo libre, solo pasamos en las hieleras encerradas sin hacer nada.
Tengo una pregunta más. ¿Tenías acceso a la asistencia médica?
No.
¿Y no hubo doctores o no hubo médicos?
No, pues de hecho ahí uno llega como raspado, lastimado, pues cuando cruzas te cortas con las espinas, cuando pasas y cuando llegas ahí no te dan ningún tipo de medicamento o algo, solamente te dejan ahí hasta que decidan enviarte de nuevo a México o decidan otra cosa.
Muchas gracias. Eso es fin por nuestras preguntas para...
Intentábamos dormir, ellos entraban y pateaban las puertas o las aventaban recio y es un cuarto muy pequeño en donde haces un pequeño ruido, se escucha muy fuerte y no nos dejaban dormir.
Out of frustration.
The officers
Yeah.
did? ¿Hay más que puedes decir sobre la policía ahí?
No sé, pero pienso que era como que pues tú ya vienes como con algo de miedo de allá y ellos como que te metían aún más porque se portaban agresivos contigo y es como que te querían pegar cada vez que te hablaban, entonces, y siempre te gritaban como, ¿qué haces aquí? ¿Por qué no te regresas a tu país?
¿Y su experiencia más peor ahí?
Bueno, ahí no fue tanto, pero inmigración, en el centro de inmigración donde meten a toda la gente, cuando te agarran, ahí sí está feo, porque inmigración no, o sea, nomás te mete al cuarto y si llegas mojado, así te quedas hasta que te saquen, y las hieleras están frías.
So they don't allow them time to change after being wet, like after showering or something like that, and it's really cold. He said.
Es feo, son 8 hieleras donde te dividen nomás por edad. Hay unas que son de 16, 17 y 18. Hay otras donde son de 10, 11 y 12 años de edad. Y para los mayores, las mujeres, las separan todos.
So it's like a camp.
Yeah, divided by age and gender.
Okay. ¿Y te da comida o te daron comida?
Sí, tomas una vez al día. Una, y si el caso 2.
1 or 2 meals a day.
¿Y tenías acceso a la asistencia médica como médicos?
No.
¿Y hubo tiempos cuando una persona se lastimó ahí? ¿Y qué pasó?
Se pelearon adentro de la celda y no se metieron los de migración hasta que terminaron de pegarse. Ya fue que entró uno y sacó a otro y así para que ya no siguieron.
So two gentlemen there were fighting, and the immigration officers, I guess, that were there didn't attempt to break it up before. They just waited until they finished it out, and then when it took them out, one of them was on the ground.
Jail before being transferred to Broward.
Todo es difícil ahí. Hay momentos que uno más bien ni quisiera recordar, jamás que quisiera olvidar, pero uno no lo olvida.
Alejandra is still fighting her asylum case. But after 6 months inside, she's one of the lucky few who managed to get out without being deported.
Yo para hablar con mis hijos para México, para una llamadita, yo me levantaba a las 4:30 de la mañana y entraba a trabajar a la cocina a las 5 de la mañana. Y nada más nos pagaban $1. $1 nos pagaban.
ICE wouldn't tell us how much money private prison operators might be saving by using detainee labor. Unlike federal and state prisons, working in immigration detention is voluntary. But Alejandra said that wasn't made clear in Broward.
Luego las oficiales nos decían que si no había trabajadoras en la cocina, que si no trabajábamos, que no iba a haber comida, que porque no había quien trabajara, quien atendiera a los demás, que no iba a haber comida.
Half of these removals, more than 195,000, were convicted criminal aliens. That is itself another record.
But the bottom line here is that the population that they call criminal includes, in the majority, people who have been charged or convicted of criminal activity that is very, very minor, or things that, the public may not even think of as criminal. Possession of marijuana, disorderly conduct, traffic violations.
Can you tell me what you've gained from the experience of doing this project?
So pretty much, I interned at an immigration law firm, and so they were the ones that gave me this idea about exploring the condition of immigrants at these detention facilities. And so I already had an idea that they're not being treated the best. I was told by the attorneys that I work with that the companies that run these detention facilities are private organizations. And so I guess these interviews, meeting actual people that have spent time in these facilities, it gave me a better perspective on as to how life actually is like. For example, one of the people that we interviewed, her name is Diana. She was telling us about how she didn't even shower for 15 days. It was about 123 women, all of them didn't get to shower. They only got to eat one time a day. And the attorney that I work with, he couldn't tell me that because all that information is classified. And so these interviews just really helped us get a better picture of how much the immigrants that are coming in are being oppressed by a system that doesn't really care for them, that just views them as an amount of beds or as just profit, as opposed to people that are trying to flee from a country that is unstable and trying to find a better life. We got to see that they don't really care about that, but also that the conditions vary by detention facilities. There are some that aren't as bad, so this video isn't to say that every single one is as bad, but it's just more so to show that immigrants in general aren't getting the fairest of treatments across the board, and that they're being put in very dangerous conditions when they get here. I mean, not showering for 15 days isn't healthy. Not being able to eat, or only eating once a day, isn't healthy as well. That's basically what I took from it. Was there anything that you wanted to add?
It honestly just opened up a new world for me. Going into this, I had known that immigrants had it hard, being an immigrant myself, but this kind of put it all into perspective for me. Seeing what these people actually had to go through, like Chico was talking about, and just parts of society that we may not even notice in our like day-to-day lives.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of like an example of neo-imperialism. We're seeing obviously that there's one group being oppressed by another. The system, pretty much like immigration systems, are taking advantage of these immigrants. They're bringing them here, or they're not letting them stay here, first of all. But those that do get the chance to are being put into rooms, small rooms, cold rooms, as was described by a couple of our interviews.